JP, how come you didn't make the game, man?
Which game?
You didn't come out for the hockey game.
You didn't come out for the arena.
Dan's going to throw some of his footage, some of that awesome footage that I shot.
Yeah, I
man,
I have
Josh
GoPro.
Mostly of his small child kissing the camera, blowing kisses to daddy.
Oh, wow.
Who's got the best Thanksgiving story? Anything good?
Man, I'm trying to think.
I was playing categories, and the clue was things you keep hidden, and the letter was S. Someone said sex.
Damn.
Wow.
This is a family game?
Oh, that's what you tweeted in there. She was like, "Yep, sex
I
counts."
Snapchatted it, and that was
My bad, Snapchat. She's like, "Sex counts. We're gonna count it."
It was with the in-laws.
Something you
that's
keep
who that
hidden?
was.
What's that?
Something you keep hidden.
Something you keep hidden, and they said sex. They got a point for it. No one else had it.
I mean, you might have said like strippers.
Sex with strippers.
That's something you'd keep
Hidden, yeah.
That's something for the podcast.
JP, how was LA?
It was cool.
Yeah, you get to see Pops?
That and all of his peach cobbler and Kentucky butter cake.
Oh,
Those burgers you posted?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, this is what we need to do. We need a squad trip to 50-50. And
Let's do it.
They have, it's like 1/4 pound, 2/3 pound, and then 16 ounces of pure relations on a plate at a restaurant. It's nothing like it.
Pure relations.
Relations.
You can only liken that to relations.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Brobes, any highlights?
No, it was a good day. Like the waiter we went to Maggiano's for lunch, and the waiter kept coming up to us asking, "Oh, did you guys find a black book, like one of those books that they put the check in down there?" And at first we were like, "No, we didn't." But then we looked, and of course there's one. And then he comes back a little bit later after we hand him the book. He's like, "Any chance you guys see a cell phone?" I'm like, "What the hell, these people?" And sure enough, we found a cell phone.
Oh, wow.
And it was a flip phone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and my dad just stayed down there for like 5 minutes, just kept looking around, see if there was like money or anything.
What else can I find?
Yeah, exactly. That was probably like the most entertaining moment, but it was good.
You were at Maggiano's.
Yeah.
And Maggiano's is what type of cuisine?
Italian.
So you're at an Italian restaurant and you found a flip phone underneath your table. You know what that is, right?
Oh yeah, that was a burner phone.
Yeah, exactly. That's the trap phone. He needed that back. Like, did you find the trap phone? Please return it now.
Yep. That
That's
card
funny.
has been since cleared.
Excellent. I'm glad they're not coming for you.
Yeah, thank God.
Oh, man. And welcome back into the Bullpen. Episode 7, guys, the week of December 2nd. And it is championship week in college football. And only one of us has a team in a championship game. JP, congratulations on...
Everybody throw that fight on up there.
Well, as a Bay Area resident, I guess I'll root for the Cardinal just because I grew up down the street from them.
Blasphemy.
But before we get to championship week preview, let's get a hydration check. Probes, we'll start with you because you...
Finally.
have it. It's there. There it is.
The sweet baby Jesus.
Sweet.
Flown in from
Baby
JP's hometown out there in D.C.
From the 202 one time.
From DeClaw Brewery. Birthday present from my boy Al, listener of the podcast.
Algernon Tobias?
Oh, listen.
He does. Algernon Newsom, actually.
Okay.
Tar Heels in the house.
Tar Heel. So, yeah.
How many you got left?
I have 5 more left.
Okay, so this
and
is the first one.
Yeah, as I was talking to one of our coworkers earlier today, he's like, "Oh, you only brought in 1 just for yourself?" And I said, "Yes, it's like, bullets in a zombie apocalypse. You got to preserve them." Yeah.
I was going to say, don't tell
Fair
people
enough.
you have 5 left.
Yeah, no.
Fair enough.
Sell them on eBay so you can double up and then bring some for everybody.
Do you want to try it
Hydration?
at least, Dan?
Sure, yeah, I'll try it.
I'm just going with some agua right now, but I might need to go with what you got, Dan, in a little bit here.
JP?
I mean, Metro Mint, y'all have been catting off for over 2 months. Okay? So because you've done so,
Dano?
50 Cent not playing with the money. Okay?
Vitamin water.
50 Cent say, I can have a contract because I earned it. So this is who I'm rolling with for the rest of the season. Shout out to 50.
I don't think I'm getting that one back.
No, I don't think so.
No.
This is spectacular, by the way. This is the Sweet Baby Jesus. That's good. It's like a peanut butter cup in a
Yep.
beer. It's very tasty. You like those
You wanna
sweet
go? Come on.
flavored
Okay.
beers. I'm
Second
rocking
one for New
the
Year's.
Sierra Nevada Celebration Ale. It used to be their Celebration Ale. Now they're calling it their Celebration Fresh.
Shout out Pat 40. That's the 40 beer.
There it is.
Yeah.
For the hair. Hopefully I can work it out. But yeah, this is pretty good. This is a 6.0 alcohol by volume. That's nice IPA here.
Nice.
And this only comes around this time of year, so I figured might as well bring it out for the podcast.
It's a celebration.
It is a celebration.
We've made it to 7.
And it is one of the greatest weeks in college football, other than perhaps the week of the national championship. This is championship week for conference play. We will start in the Pac-12 as we do have a representative there, number 20. Not that it matters at this point in the college football playoff rankings, versus number 7, Stanford.
I mean, it matters. I mean, every game that USC plays in matters.
No, I mean the ranking doesn't really matter at this point. This is for the championship.
It's championship.
You guys aren't going to throw shade at the squad like that, okay? This still counts. There's a season to be played. There are games left.
I'll be there for a half.
You're going, yeah?
I have to support the squad. Shout out to Tank, who's going to have to watch Stanford fall. I'm gonna be in your ear all game.
JP, what's going to be the difference in this one?
The USC secondary is actually going to show up. If they had shown up to play a full football game the first time we played, they have to show up.
Stanford's passing game, it's not like the most dynamic thing.
But get this, total yards was 474 to 427 in the first game. Like, yes, they're going to get off on the ground, but they beat USC through the air. If those DBs can show up and play a solid football game, there's no way the USC doesn't get some revenge here.
What do you guys think?
We know JP's pick.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Stanford just because it's a quasi-home game. I think it'll be a close game. Sorry, JP.
I'm going Stanford as well. You guys will probably remember, I believe it was our first episode that I said Stanford would be the team from the Pac-12 that would represent in the playoff.
Don't remember that.
Even though they won't.
He's not wrong.
I don't remember.
We'll roll back the tape eventually. But I do think they will have enough of a showing to make a case should the games after theirs on Saturday go in their favor.
I'm actually going to take SC here only because I think it's really hard to beat the same team twice in one season.
Say that.
And I've seen it many times.
That's
in
a really
sports.
good point, but
You see it a lot in sports, and not so much in sports where you play teams multiple times, but usually if you have to play the same team again, things change. So I'll just take the upset there and see what happens. Moving on to the ACC, top-ranked Clemson, number 10 North Carolina. What do we think here, guys?
I think Carolina pulls the upset. I do.
Joke job for Clemson?
No, it would be funny if it was like a full Clemsoning, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think North Carolina's run game I think they have a better run game, and in this kind of game, it's going to be very high scoring. You got to control the ball, and I think they'll be able to do that with Marquise Williams and Elijah Hood. I just think they're more dynamic. Nothing against Deshaun Watson. That guy's an unbelievable player.
ACC Player of the Year, by the way.
No, and not taking anything away from him, but I just think in this kind of game, you got to be able to control the clock.
Yeah, and I caught the end of the Clemson-South Carolina game last week, and they just keep getting closer and closer to that point of really falling into that Clemsoning that we know and getting in trouble and falling apart in the end there. Deshaun Watson, ACC Player of the Year, as JP mentioned, but he just hasn't performed well in the big games. He's done enough, but I think I agree. Kind of a pseudo home game also in this one for NC. This game's in Charlotte.
No, here's a fun fact, though. Clemson University is actually closer to that stadium than North Carolina at Chapel Hill.
Shows my geography about the Carolinas.
No. I'm glad you brought that point up, though, because we were talking about this actually with one of our sponsors, Andy Behrens. I was talking to that with him this past Sunday, and I was like, man, I think Clemson's actually closer, and it is. It's by like 8 miles. It's closer than Chapel Hill. So it's technically probably as close of a neutral site game as you're going to get. But I know that's a lot of people are like, oh, North Carolina gets to play this home game. But, and it will be. I think there'll still be a ton of Carolina fans there. But I think Clemson, depending on how well they travel, have their fair share there.
Minus last week's game, Clemson's defense has only given up 19 points a game.
That Carolina offense, though.
I mean, they're cool. This might be the one year that Dabo finally gets over the hump because this is the best team. If he doesn't do it with this squad, it'll never happen.
And they'll lose in the semis?
Yeah.
No, they'll lose. I'm not going that far,
yeah.
But
So
it depends on who they play in the semis.
You guys both taking North Carolina?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm taking Clemson. Deshaun Watson will have a Woodrow Dantzler-esque performance.
All right, I'll go with you on that one, JP. To the SEC, Florida. I don't know if anybody saw that coming. Taking on Bama.
Well, someone from the East.
I know somebody has to.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to. Yeah. Can Florida pull the upset here, guys?
No.
No, don't say
17 point spread, right?
Anything is possible. Will they? Highly unlikely.
Last two games, they had to go to overtime against Florida Atlantic, and they put up 2 points against Florida State at home.
I'm not picking them. I'm just saying, any given Saturday, anything can happen.
Any given Saturday, will they ever show up?
Right.
I don't think so.
Like, you could take out probably all of Bama's first teamers, and Bama could still probably beat this Florida team. Nothing against Florida. I know they're an SEC team and all this kind of stuff, but that team has been through turmoil. And kudos to McElwain and what he's done with that squad this year compared to what they've had in the past. But Bama, like, ever since they lost to Ole Miss, they've been the best team in the country.
No doubt.
The real reason that Florida's going to lose is because Bama is looking ahead to that 2014 Sugar Bowl rematch with Oklahoma when Saban tried to downplay the game. Like, it's just another game. It doesn't really matter because they weren't playing for the national title and they got embarrassed. So I'm pretty sure he wants a little bit of retribution and to stick it to Stoops. So they win that game big just so they can get that revenge or avenge that loss.
Yeah, but if Carolina beats Clemson, then they'll have to wait for the final for that one.
Yep. That's true. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Last one, Big Ten here, Michigan State, Iowa.
Shout out to our sponsor.
Yeah, Iowa, the Hawkeyes.
Iowa Student Store.
Evan,
oh, yeah. We got the...
Evan, let's start with you. What do you think on this
We
one?
finally got that money.
I'm like the recruit on signing day. Look, I think about putting the headband on. I can't do it. I got to go Michigan State. I just think they're too talented. Connor Cook's playing all right, even though he's somewhat beat up. It'll be close. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think Michigan State's just too talented.
Even though they're a pseudo-sponsor, this is the most uninteresting 4 versus 5 matchup we've probably ever witnessed.
That's a great point.
This is like neither one of these teams like excites me in any way, shape, or form. It'll be like they both like they just there's nothing exciting about them that you can like, oh yeah, they're great football teams, and they're a lot alike too in terms of just offense, defense. I think it'll be a very close game. I think Michigan State pulls it out though. I just think they have the better athletes and the Cook factor. If he plays and he's healthy, I think Michigan State wins.
I mean, Barron's did bring this fake money, so
he did come with that money after we said he didn't come with the money.
Excellent.
So,
I mean, it's somehow, some way, the most vanilla team on the planet Earth, Iowa Hawkeyes, can get some pressure on Connor Cook. I mean, it's shown that if you get pressure on Connor Cook, he gets rattled, and then bad things happen.
If Desmond King makes a few plays in Iowa secondary, I think they got a shot.
They got a blitz, and they never blitz. So Kirk Ferentz is going to have to enter the 21st century and dial up some heat so he can get some pressure. Because if they're just going to sit back there and play that old base defense, he's going to get picked apart. So
I'll give Andy credit for doing some work and getting the family involved. He said on these fake Hamiltons.
Hayden Frybucks.
Yeah, Hayden Frybucks. Yeah.
Oh,
hey, they're also thick, as you see. That didn't go anywhere but down.
Wait, so
They're also one-sided.
yeah.
Who's done the double-sided printer,
Yeah.
Andy? Come on.
So, JP, you're going with Sparty?
Sorry, Barons, but I have to side with Algernon Tobias.
All right, well, here, I'll take that.
You know what?
I can be bought. So
You
I'll
can,
take Iowa just to be different on this. I mean, who knows? Like you said, this
Right.
could be a close game. It could come down to one of those wacky plays at the end that Michigan State has capitalized on this year.
Right.
And
or
it could go
had go against them.
exactly, and it just could be one of those games, and I'll take Iowa just to.
But the
to be
best part,
trainer.
the best part about this matchup is that if Iowa does pull the upset, Andy Barron's control Pat Forty until next college football season.
Yep.
And
Yep.
he can get us some Big Ten champs gear that we can wear on the show next week.
Sweatpants, extra large, holla.
I got like 70.
Yeah,
70,
that's got to be worth at least
this
like
is great.
Yeah,
I mean, I threw 80 on the floor,
yeah.
so
There's some
I'll
more on
clean
the
it
floor.
up,
Go
don't
get it, Dano.
All right, well, championship week. That brings us to the playoff. Some interesting things can happen if the right teams lose. So let's say Clemson does lose. Of those teams in the
Chaos.
hunt, what's that?
I said chaos.
Oh, yeah. Of the teams that are in the hunt there, we're talking Stanford as well. Who's 6?
Ohio State.
Ohio State. Yeah. Oh,
So-
Ohio State's another interesting story there. If Clemson does lose, who gets that 4 spot in your mind, guys?
I think it's the Buckeyes, just on pure name recognition.
You
And
figure the
you
winner.
lose. They lost a game at home on a last-second field goal. Stanford's got how many losses?
They have 2, but they still have a better resume. And I think also the thing here is that the committee rules, got pointed out one of the games I saw on Saturday, that they
Stanford has to whoop SC.
Yeah. But the thing that Stanford would have that Ohio State would not have would be a conference title as well. And that's one thing that in the committee rules they say they really heavily want to lean on conference championships unless there's a team that is overwhelmingly, without a question, better than the other. And I don't think you can say Ohio State is, without a doubt, 100% a better team than Stanford, even if they only have one loss compared to Stanford's two.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I think just the way this committee works and the way things go with them.
Let us not forget that Condoleezza Rice is still on the committee. Therefore, Stanford gets a vote.
Oh, yeah.
That's
well,
true.
no, she can't vote on them, can she? Isn't she like...
Well, that's the funny thing.
I don't know how it works.
We talked about it a couple weeks ago where Ty Wellingham couldn't be in the room, I think, when
they talked about Notre Dame.
When Notre Dame was discussed, but he can be when Stanford is, and he was coached
he coached both. Yeah.
Statute of limitations.
That makes sense because Notre Dame didn't treat the brother well, and Stanford did. Therefore, he can be in the room for Stanford, and Notre Dame just gets hosed out like they are this year. So that's totally fine.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're all in agreement that the winner of the Big Ten championship game gets the 3 spot.
Oh, you have to, yeah.
If Clemson loses
Yeah.
again. And
I don't know if they jump Oklahoma.
Well, no, but I'm saying Oklahoma would move up if Clemson
Oklahoma
loses.
moves
You
up to
assume
2.
they'd move
Yes,
up to
yes,
2.
yes,
yes. Yeah.
And Bama, since everybody thinks it's going to be a quote-unquote
Woodshed.
I was just thinking the word
Oklahoma
woodshed.
doesn't play in the championship game, so let's not
They're
jump
in.
too fast. I understand that, but let's not jump too fast with them moving up a spot. They could just still sit.
Well, don't forget, I told you.
I don't think it really matters. Does it really matter if you're 2 or 3? You're playing each other
either
anyway.
way,
So
it doesn't matter.
But don't forget, Baylor last year was 3. They even had a game, won by 50, and went from 3 to 6.
Yeah, it didn't matter. They just bounced all the way out. So
Who knows what could happen?
Yeah.
right.
Well, who knows what's going on for the teams that aren't in consideration for this, although some things have been decided this week. Let's take a look at the coaching carousel in college football. Brandon, what do we got?
Well, Mark Richt just was announced the head coach at Miami today. I know, everybody been chiming in that they wanted Al Golden gone. He's gone. Richt played at Miami as a student athlete. I like the move in terms of a name. I think for Richt, I think it might have been a better move for him. And I was saying this all along when he was going to get fired, that he should go and be the OC at LSU. Like Cam Cameron is terrible there. Go be the OC there because they need someone who can coach the offense. Les can focus on the defense and build your stock back up. And if you want, you can then stay in that SEC because the SEC, like it's very incestual in their coaching.
Yuck.
Like you see, no, but it's just like you got these guys. They retread when they're a position coach or a graduate assistant, and they kind of come back. Muschamp's, this was his 3rd time at Auburn in some capacity, and now he's going to go possibly take over in South Carolina after a so-so year at Auburn. Like it's a very retread, like Kirby Smart, staying in the SEC, going from Bama to Georgia now. So I don't understand why he just doesn't stay there and help LSU with the one problem they've always had, and Justin and I have talked about this, quarterbacks. LSU, Miles can't recruit quarterbacks. Mark Richt can. In fact, the most relevant quarterback that came to LSU in Miles' tenure, Mettenberger, was not an LSU recruit. He was a Georgia recruit. So Rick even recruited him and got him in there. So, I think that would benefit him more. I know he's going to make way more money going to Miami. You just wonder if it's actually going to work and turn it around. He's got to have Florida State and Florida kind of drop a little bit for him to be able to really turn that program around.
Yeah, I think part of it's the control thing, being a former head coach at a position like Georgia in the SEC for 15 years. He's not going to probably want to take a step back in the same conference to do a coordinator job. But, hey, I mean, Miami's getting a guy who has 9, 10-win seasons out of 15. I mean, that's pretty damn good. The problem, I think, it was a point I heard on another podcast was that, and a great one, is that things are done a little bit differently in Miami where you got to let the players get away with a little bit. And Richt is very down the middle, disciplinarian.
He doesn't even curse.
He can't do that with Miami guys. You got to play it a little loose. So we'll see if that works out for him.
Do you think he's seen the 30 for 30s, the U?
It's not going to change him as a person, though. He's not going to out recruit Jimbo. So everybody's still going to want to go to Florida State. Like, it's not going to change anything. I hope he doesn't bring any Schottenheimer with him because that'll be a total fail job. I mean, the guy won 145 games. He has 9 bowl wins, bunch of division titles, 1 SEC title. Well, excuse me, he won the SEC outright twice, but he doesn't have a national title. So, like, he's won a lot, but he's never got over the hump.
Well, that's the thing, though, too, is, at this point, what are the expectations for Miami?
National championship.
That can't be a realistic expectation.
I mean, you've seen all Clinton Portis, Warwick Dunn, Thorpe, Philip Buchanan, like they've all tweeted like, look, Santana Moss, Sonoris Moss, like we need to get back to what we were. If not, we need to find somebody who can. So he's going in there with extremely high expectations. Like the odds against him may seem insurmountable, but he's going to have to reach him somehow.
Yeah, I just think, again, it's people getting their heads in the clouds that only one team hoists that trophy at the end of every season. You can't sit there and have a program that just came through sanctions that's been about 500 for the last few years and say, we want to immediately get back with our next coach to the national championship. It just doesn't happen that fast.
Well, it's always been, what have you done for me lately?
Yeah, I understand. I just think it's ridiculous.
That's a tad aggressive to go out there and think that they're just going to be at a national title contender in a few years. It's not easy to build a contender. Like, that's why, as much as people hate Nick Saban, what he's done there, and like the fact that he's consistently at the top every year, it's damn impressive.
Well, some of the social media response from the players seems very positive. They seem excited, so we'll see.
He also needs to get Jacob Eason to follow him, and for some reason he was telling Jacob Eason to stay committed to Georgia, which makes zero sense.
Yeah, Eason's the quarterback out of Washington State, #1 recruit for Rivals next year. Who I believe committed to Georgia very early.
He committed as a freshman.
I feel like that was...
Because he visited with Mark Richt after that QB11 camp with Bob Johnson in Mission Viejo. And for Mark Richt to tell him, nah, just stay the course. No, sir. You're coming to the U now, sir. And that's that. Like, don't tell him to stay with Georgia so then Georgia can win with Eason without you. And then that's just a major slap on the face.
What do you think about USC staying with Helton?
Well, if we want to stay on the incestual conversation, I don't like in-house jobs. Like, they need somebody at SC to come shake things up, and Clay Helton is not that guy. He's just not.
What if he wins that Pac-12 though?
That's cool. He won't win a national championship.
Yeah,
he outcoached. He was outcoached against Notre Dame. He was outcoached against Oregon. 2 games that they should have won. The Notre Dame game, they came back and were ahead. Maybe the Oregon game was a toss-up because the Ducks are the most on-fire team in the Pac-12 period. I mean, they beat everybody, including the 2 teams playing in the championship. Yes, they started out shaky, but like USC never goes outside of USC to get a coach. Like Sarkisian, Kiffin, they're all like McKay or Pat Hayden boys. Like, they need somebody to shake it up. Somebody to come. They need a new defensive coordinator, and they need to start recruiting like dynamic quarterbacks. All those LA kids who play QB never stay home. They always leave. And then you get like Cody Kessler, Max Whittick. Yes, Matt Barkley balled out. He might be the outlier because the rest of those guys, like, what's their NFL careers? Like, what have they done since?
Yeah, I mean, Leinart wasn't good.
Sitting next to Dave Wanstatt, like, that's not good enough.
Making Pizza Hut commercials.
So what's a best case scenario for SC with this call?
That they continue to win the Pac-12 and people are just content with them being Pac-12 title champs.
You don't think they can win a national championship with him as a coach?
Nah.
Interesting. What are some of the other major moves? We'll go through them real quick.
Well, I mean, obviously Smart, another ancestral move where he goes from. I'm sorry, like that's what it is. Like they stay.
It's hiring a Georgia
home.
guy. Georgia's hiring a Georgia guy.
Yeah. And then Muschamp, obviously, I don't understand how this guy. Like, he goes from, being fired at Florida for a subpar performance there. Then he takes this Auburn team who was 6th in the country in the preseason.
And they're laughable.
And their defense is just not good. And he's the defensive guy.
We were in that game.
Yeah. Your boys were in that game had Jordan hair. Like, that is amazing. Like, that should not have happened. And now
did
he's about to
officially get that gig though?
Now he's about well, okay.
No,
like, there are a lot of rumors like he's
speculation
close. He's close, but like he's going to get this SC job, not the good SC, the other SC. And like, if you're Muschamp, what? Like, do you really want to take that job and then get fired in a couple years from that?
Maybe Lincoln Riley takes it. I mean, he's probably tired of sitting under Stoops and having Stoops take all the credit for all those humongous offensive performances at Oklahoma for the Sooners. So maybe he takes it and Muschamp saves himself some flack.
Stoops is a guy I kind of feel like Richt. Been at the same place a long time, right on the edge, 9-10 wins every year, 1 title.
Correct.
Maybe he gets tired of being in Norman.
He's a horrible big game coach, though. He's been to more big games than those guys.
Richt?
Yeah.
Man, they should get together.
Hang out.
They should hang out. They should do a staff together.
Maybe they should come to the podcast and answer some difficult questions.
Anybody concerned about Les and LSU?
The funny thing about that is that he went from being fired to being okay. The picture of the picture of the administration at that press conference was gold.
Yeah.
Like that's just plutonium level greatness.
That was just a hilarious story because he was out the door. Like he was gone. Like they were carrying him off on his shoulders, and they're like, "No, we thought about it in the third quarter, and we kind of like him. Let's keep him around."
But nothing's going to change, though. Like, they'll be in the same place again. They have no quarterback. They got a silverback in the backfield. They got a bunch of NFL players playing on defense, and they still won't win anything. So the next season will be at the same spot when they have 4 losses and Les Miles heads on the platter. Do we fire him or not? Or if the fans cheer loud enough in the middle of the third quarter, do we tell them that we should unpack your office and let you come back and coach again?
And they've only got that silverback for one more game.
Yeah, because he's gonna challenge the draft pool and just shake anyway. So, but did you see number 5, the freshman that's his backup, is also pretty sexy running the ball. So the drop off there is not bad. It's just they don't have a formidable offensive coach to call those plays. They didn't bring in a new offensive coordinator, and Les Miles is still there okaying these mundane plays. So I don't see LSU getting any better, at least not on the offensive side of the ball. On defense, yes. Like, if you see their recruiting class, they got a bunch of 4- and 5-star defenders. They got 1 quarterback.
I think that had a lot to do with it, though. Like, they had the number 1 recruiting class, and some of those kids were starting to shake. They were starting to worry. They weren't going to and, the administration was like, "Oh,
we don't want to lose our recruits."
Yeah,
so
exactly. So let's keep them around.
But 1 freshman quarterback is not going to save LSU from the rest of the SEC. Therefore, they're in the same exact spot at the beginning of next season.
I guess we'll see what happens. Something else, kind of a buzzy topic in sports this week. It kind of seems like it is every week now, but let's talk about officiating and how impactful these refs have been. And in the NFL is where we see it the most. It's every sport, but in the NFL, it's really been a hot topic.
This season in particular with the NFL, it's been bad, and I think
really bad.
This past week was the apex of it, at least to this point so far. The point that was very interesting was Pete Morelli's crew handled the Cardinals and 49ers in Santa Clara, and the one play that caught a lot of attention was that after a penalty, they lost track of the downs. Yeah. They took away a down from Arizona after a 49er penalty. Also later in the game, there were some questionable flags. Quentin Dow got called for roughing the passer and Carson Palmer.
On a regular sack.
A terrible play.
Like, you're not allowed to hit the quarterback and sack the quarterback anymore.
In the numbers is what.
Right, you hit him right in the numbers.
Also on Wednesday got fined for that, which he's appealing, of course. Although this also was the same crew. He's a very highly rated official, but this is the same crew that you might remember that Steelers-Chargers Monday night game.
Rated by who?
Whatever system they use.
Right.
The BCS maybe. Some tie to that. Back in that Monday night Steelers-Chargers game, 18 seconds clicked off late in the game when Pittsburgh was driving. There was also the false start in the Jaguars-Ravens game that ended up being Jacksonville field goal at the buzzer to win it. That was really interesting. But the question, Dan, should we just go into games accepting the fact that refs will impact games? I don't know why you ever go into a game not thinking that. I think the referees and officials are so integral in every sport, in every game. When you had that human element, it's going to play in somehow.
I guess I always just was trying to be... You guys know me. I'm the most pessimistic person you probably will ever meet.
This might be true.
But but I always try to, like, at least with that, like, I want to go in there thinking, okay, the best team should win the game, not the stripes. But now it's gotten to that point where you just accept that there's holding on every play. It's only when it's egregious are they going to get caught, and that there's going to be 4 or 5 instances. You're just waiting for that flag to come in. Like, I'll watch a play and they'll make a great play, and I'll be sitting there going, I'm looking around, looking up at the little thing on the top of the screen, waiting for it to say flag or no flag. Then I can.
Yeah,
then
it's
I
true.
can get excited.
But did anybody see that even in Canada, like, they allow you once a quarter to challenge a flag, and they challenge the pass interference call that wasn't called, and then it was pass interference.
But
and
pass
they scored a touchdown.
Is
No. Let me finish. So the point is, if you have instant replay, why is everybody still messing up?
No, I agree. That's one of my biggest issues with replay is that they have it and they still get it wrong because they don't have enough evidence or they don't have a good camera angle. Then what the hell's the point?
But they're not using replay on.
I know, not for some of that kind of stuff.
I mean, the only way I could see is if you have an official in the booth that sees a replay right after and says, "Hey guys, you got to pick up that flag."
Yeah,
like that's not a penalty.
Yeah,
but some calls need to be reviewable. But then
again, you still have that human element.
Yeah, pass interference is reviewable. In the 49er game, when they're driving, it was 3rd and goal inside the red zone.
You're talking about that drive where they had 9 chances?
Correct. They called a pass interference on Aker, on Larry Legend.
Yeah.
But Carson Palmer just threw a terrible ball.
Yeah.
Like, it was Carson Palmer's fault, and Larry Legend didn't even have a chance to catch it. Aker barely tapped him.
Yeah.
And the referee called pass interference. Like, you can go upstairs and review
that drive
and say, hey, Aker actually didn't touch Larry Legend, so now it's 4th down. You're kicking a field goal. Oh, no, we'll give them an extra 4 set of downs because I think he might have PI'd him. Like, nah, man.
That drive was the most insanely frustrating. I'm not a fan of either one of those teams, but it was the most insanely frustrating thing to watch.
And they almost didn't score.
They were 1st and goal from the 3. They had 9 chances because of 4 penalties. That, like, at some point, you just got to be like, okay, they really kind of don't deserve to score here. Like, I know that shouldn't be the thinking of everything, but like 9 chances from inside the 3, and you can't. With all those penalties, like, just, you know what, cut their losses, let them kick the field goal and move on.
Too many calls are egregious to not argue that games were fixed. Like, some of the stuff is so blatant, like, you can sit at home and see the replay and wonder, how did you get to that conclusion?
Are you going to go Skip Bayless Jr. on us here?
Don't ever say his name and my name at the same time. That's disrespectful.
You're going in that. You're going in that realm.
It wouldn't be the first time that games were fixed. I mean, Donahue did it for how many years in the NBA and never got caught? It's not out of the realm of possibility.
No,
I'm not putting it past anybody. I'm not saying that it's happening, but it could be because some of the calls are terrible. Like, they're just bad all the way around. And then people get demoted. Like, what's a demotion? You're still refereeing.
Right.
You still have the opportunity to do it again.
You can't do primetime games.
If you want to punish them, find the guy, suspend him for a couple. Do something like. It's not going to fix anything, but yeah, demoting them to another game. Like, Fox needs to demote Joe Buck and Troy Aikman to some other games.
Oh, everybody hates Joe Buck.
I don't know. There's a small part of me that goes like, are we being way too hard on these guys? I mean, the game is really, really fast.
No excuses.
You played the game, JP. You played the game, Brandon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know how fast it can go. And I just go
you know my story about bad refereeing.
I know.
Brandon Rogers.
You're gonna make mistakes. That's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, because we have everybody has a voice and everybody can go nuts about it on social media and stuff. Are we not giving them
it's probably
giving them
just a bigger deal now.
Giving them a little bit of slack and going like, okay, dude, that was like 10 yards away and it was really, really fast.
Yeah.
And I do feel though that NFL refs are more apt to throw the flag than they used to be.
There was one play in that Cardinals-Niners game where Palmer thought he got hit. He thought he should have gotten a roughing call, and if you watch, they show the replay. He's complaining to the ref, he was calling for a play down the field or off to the side of him, and he was yelling at the ref saying, "Did you not see that? Did you not see that?" And you can hear the ref mouth, "I'm watching you." Like, I'm protecting you.
Yeah, that's his
job. So there's a lot of sometimes a ref will call something because they see it out of the corner of their eye, or it's very, very subjective. It's very, and like you said, it's very quick. Yes, their job is very difficult. I get that, but some of these and part of it's the NFL's fault too, for the rules that they have in place
to protect the players
that are not very clear.
Yeah.
Like, what is a catch? What is roughing the passer? Like, I see the same thing happen to one quarterback, to another quarterback, and it's not called the same way, too. There is a star bias, like there is in every sport as well.
Cam doesn't get roughing calls.
You're right. I think, and that was going to be my last point, is that there is a gray area on a lot of these calls, and no more so than in basketball, where between a foul and a charge and a block,
7 steps before he took the shot.
I just feel like in that sport, you're the most hated person on the court every single night. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Half the people there hate you.
That's the best example. Carmelo didn't even pick up the ball. Everybody everywhere saw that. He shuffled his feet like he was a bad dancer and then bricked the 3. And none of the referees flinched. Like, what are we watching?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think that this conversation is going anywhere
No,
anytime soon.
yeah,
so we'll look forward to more bailout calls on late game drives.
Can't wait for this weekend. Oh, same officiating crew that screwed up the Denver-New England game, doing the New England-Philadelphia game this week. So
makeup call.
New England fans, you'll have plenty of chances to yell at them.
Quick question on that. I thought they would have worked it out to where referees never
Did the same
Did
team.
back-
do the
Back-to-back?
same team back-to-back weeks.
Well,
I don't know.
apparently we were wrong.
Fixed.
All right, moving on. We've got a few names here that are careers are winding down, and let's start with the big one this week. Kobe breaking out his pen to offer some prose for all of us, writing a poem in the Players Tribune titled "Dear Basketball." JP, you want to give us just a stanza of that, and then we'll talk about some reaction to it.
Let's see. Where should we start here? I don't even know how to read like Kobe Bryant. I don't really know how the guy
Dear
talks.
Basketball.
You gave a 6-year-old boy his Laker dream, and I'll always love you for it. But I can't love you obsessively for much longer. This season is all I have left to give. My heart can take the pounding. My mind can handle the grind. But my body knows it's time to say goodbye. And that's okay. I'm ready to let you go. I want you to know now, so we both can savor every moment we have left together. The good and the bad, we have given each other all that we have.
You guys thoughts on this?
Tear emoji.
Wow.
some people
Moment of
are
silence
reacting-
for all those air balls that Kobe has thrown up this year.
Well, people are reacting actually very positive towards this in a lot of ways. I mean, there's been some satire, there's no doubt, but people are like, oh, like he expressed his emotions and he's kind of setting it up for his final shot, if you will, for the rest of the season. So I don't know. What do you guys think of this poem? It's very dramatic. And
I thought it was an interesting way to do it. I think, he obviously had his press conference the game the next day after that, and he addressed it then as well. But I thought it was a really kind of cool way to do it. You can call it corny, you can call it whatever you want, but
I think it was
it's
corny
different.
that they handed it out at the game as like a giveaway.
Yeah.
When you can just like find it online.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're a Laker fan, though, I mean, that's a memento I think you'd want.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, if you're a Laker fan,
Absolutely.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think the memento that we really want is what you're about to read.
Give me the bobblehead.
all right. So then Kobe received a letter back from somebody different, somebody not expected. Evan, what happened?
it was a very good. Actually, you mentioned the satire. It was a very good satire piece from SB Nation. It was a poem from a basketball to Kobe, and I'm going to read one of the.
Full
proses
disclosure,
from
I
this.
haven't read any of these. The letter or this is
All right.
fantastic.
Well, the prose, the one that stands out the best for me.
Spoken word.
From the basketball says, "But Kobe, stop it. Stop now. Stop fucking shooting me. Please stop fucking shooting me. I'm begging you. Stop. It hurts. Do you know how much it hurts to be thrown super hard into a cold metal rim? Bruh, that hurts. A lot. I know it's my job, but dude, you're shooting 30.5%. 20.2% from three. The threes hurt more because you throw me from further away. The iron pierces my soft pebbled leather skin."
Oh,
Who wrote this? I got to pull up the name here because they deserve.
So good.
shout out to that Spalding basketball
So
for those
good.
kind words.
That's good
Spalding.
stuff.
Roger Sherman at SB Nation.
Oh, he's great.
Applause.
Follow him on
Nice
Twitter
job.
too.
That was good stuff.
Beautiful stuff.
So Kobe will retire at the end of the year. I'm sure we'll talk about this more as we get towards the end of the Lakers season, which will be highly successful.
The Lakers season been over since
Yeah, I know.
they stepped on the court this season.
They're the only team to lose.
It
to
was
the
it was over when they lost to the
Sixers.
T-Wolves opening night.
Yeah.
Shout out to Okafor and that knockout power.
Move through these next. We've talked about Peyton quite a bit. It looks like the Bleacher Report reported that they've named Brock Osweiler the starter for the rest of the year. Apparently, Denver denies that, but
Go
we're
Devils.
all assuming that. I'm assuming. I don't know about you guys. If you think Brock will probably start the rest of the way, and if he does, is that it for Peyton? That debate will go on for the next 6 weeks and
Since
potentially
he
the
gave
offseason.
himself some pub from the first podcast, who was it a couple weeks ago that said Brock should start that New England game?
Yep.
And they should keep going with him.
And it was right.
And it was totally just to get him ready for next year, but dude is already ready for next year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying he's going to set the world on fire. He's going to take this team to a Super Bowl or whatever.
Aaron Rodgers Jr.
But he looked so like that was a tough game to play because New England hammered him the first few drives, and then in the snow and everything, and he brought that team back. I know New England fans are all going to say that the refs screwed him out over, and that's how they got back into it.
They're one to talk.
But exactly. Regardless of that, Like he's ready to take over now, and this whole back and forth thing. I think it's time for Peyton's played his last game in Denver. He might try to hang on with another team somewhere else next year, but I think he's done in Denver. And if they put him back behind center, they're asking for it. Like if you might as well just go with this guy. This is going to be your guy from here on out. Let him roll. Let him get in tune. Let him let him get better in tune with Demaryius Thomas, because that didn't go so well until the fourth quarter there. So
stat correction. Shout out to Kevin.
All right, so Peyton moving on, or we don't know yet, but I assume
he should.
We'll find out.
Should.
We'll find out.
I mean, why is everybody playing past their prime? Like you hold these people in such high regard. You try to have the best memories, but then you see them get out there.
They need
Muhammad Ali, watching Kid Norton beat your
Yeah.
face in, but you're probably the GOAT of the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
Kobe, you're shooting arid 40-foot three-pointers. You didn't shoot 40-foot three-pointers when you were healthy. You were a free throw line and under God, and now you're airballing everything. Stop. Peyton, you can't feel your fingers, your neck, probably half your face. Hang it up.
Another guy that probably should hang it up, and it looks like he may be, is Tiger Woods. Evan, he had a saddened press conference this week saying there's just no timetable for my return. Doesn't look like he thinks he's going to be back for next year. So what do you think? What do you think here? Is he done?
Yeah, the most shocking part of all of that press conference was how he said basically anything that happens to me after this point is gravy. And that took me aback, because being the golf fan I am and watching him since he won those 3 straight U.S. Amateurs,
That means he's
94
Scrooge
to
now,
96.
ducking it. Just chilling in the money.
That's the first thing I thought too. That he saw his bank statement and was like, "It's all good."
But he's had money for years, and he's leaving lots of money in recent years after going through the divorce.
But you're talking about the majors, right? You're talking about him chasing Jack, and that you think that he's given up on that.
That was all. That was all the rage with him.
I think it seemed like the quote I heard from him, it even seemed like any kind of win at this point is gravy, which he has constantly said every single tournament. He tees it up. If I don't think I don't have a chance to win, I'm not playing.
But isn't that why people actually watch golf? I know I'm coming from a side, like I don't love golf, but people really only watched it to see him chase Jack's record. That was the pull. Like
they want to see him dominate.
I want to see
The
Tiger win.
average fan, yes.
The casual fan.
The casual fan.
I
not
think,
Evan Doherty. He's watching the Swedish tournament.
LPGA.
Bubba Watson?
Nah, I don't watch
Michelle Wee?
But I will watch regular tournaments, because now you're at a point where you've got guys like Rory McIlroy, Ricky Fowler, Jason Day.
Spieth?
Well, yeah, you got young guys that are they hit the ball really well.
JP loves him some Spieth.
This
Under
generation
Armour.
right now is really good. So really, I don't think golf's going to miss Tiger. To be honest with you.
But the ratings have shown that
It's true.
the viewership is way down when Tiger's not there.
Well, one of these guys needs to get into that Tiger mode where he's dominating. Like Spieth needs to do it again next year,
Spieth,
to where he
if
gets to
can
the
do it
point
again.
where he's getting close, and then it'll build that interest back up in it.
The ratings went up when Spieth had that run last year
Right.
after winning the Masters and the U.S. Open. But the other thing, though, I mean, you mentioned, they're down from when Tiger dominated, but he's, just like the purses, set it so high that now, anything even just slightly below, it's going to seem like, well, it's not what Tiger did.
He's a polarizing figure, and they're just not. They're not Tiger. Like you're not able to market all the people that you just said like you would market a Tiger Woods, and that's no fault to them. That's just a fact.
To their credit, though, Tiger really wasn't Tiger until he started winning a little bit.
Nah,
too.
Tiger came out with that elbow drop, and then Nike had the commercial, and he skyrocketed.
He came out right when he turned pro from 96 from the get-go. It was the Hello World Nike ad.
Yeah, like he had the backing
From the beginning,
from
he
the
was there.
get-go. Like he was balling just like from the start.
Yeah.
And Spieth, I mean, if Under Armour can find a way to put some money marketing and some amazing commercials, some ad campaigns, and he continues to win and strive for greatness, he's got a shot, but he's going to need a lot of help.
Guess we'll see what happens. Tiger maybe back in PGA at some point. Maybe we'll see him on the senior tour. How many years does he have to? How old do you have to be on the senior
You got
tour?
to be 50, and he turns 40 on December 30th.
geez.
So you got 10 more years.
should just do a
A
late
decade
night talk
to chase Jack's record.
Yeah.
Come on, Tiger.
You could do 10 years like in the booth or something. People would
Go
pay
back to the
attention.
OU.
If he did analysis,
Go
he could be a good
back to the
broadcaster.
He could be a broadcaster if he had a way to if it was more like Faraday or McCord could let the filter off and really say, because I mean everyone says
he would know.
Otherwise,
if you talk
he's
to
just a
him off
robot.
camera, off the mic, you really get the real Tiger. That's what I would like to see.
Go back to the Eric Benet-esque Tiger. Those who need to know will know that. Then he'll easily get Jack's record.
All right, moving on to this week's random shot. This started with a tweet that a young man named Darius Slay put out. Said it's like the
Big
Lion
play Slay.
Big play.
Although
Slay.
he doesn't make big plays.
That's right.
Giving up big plays.
It's like Lion King is the Jordan of Disney and Toy Story is the Kobe. LOL. And this actually filtered into the Detroit Lions locker room this weekend as reporters asked, which one would you pick, Lion King over Toy Story? Of course, as they are the Detroit Lions, they overwhelmingly picked Lion King. But I just wonder what you guys think. I was in Disneyland this last weekend, so it's kind of a hot topic for me.
Yeah, you had fun,
Lion
didn't
King,
you?
I did. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
it was good. You pick Lion King, Toy Story, or another Disney movie. Real quick, we'll move through this week's random shot. Evan?
Man.
Start with that.
I'd go Toy Story.
Toy Story? What do
Yeah,
you think?
Toy Story. You got a friend?
You guys not big on the movie musical?
Well, see, I don't mind the Lion King. Like,
But if you had to choose between
if
them,
I had to choose between the two, yeah.
what do you think, JP?
I'm going with The Incredibles.
Oh,
That's a good one.
that's a good one.
Yeah, I put down here Lion King only because it's a animated musical, and I have a slight affection for musicals, and I think it's Elton John music. It's good, but I would say Cars is probably my favorite Disney movie. Every time it's on,
Way too long.
it's long, but it's good. I get stuck watching that thing every time with Jaden. All right, well, random shot. That's why we do it. JP,
Super.
how's cuffing season going?
Nah, man. Ask the question. This is actually a good one.
Okay, so when I was thinking about talking about cuffing season this week, I was kind of trying to figure out, because Thanksgiving just happened, and if you're cuffed, how does that work with families and holiday gatherings and stuff? Do you bring your you bring your cuff? Do you bring your wife?
This is the thing.
What am I supposed to call it?
No, I mean, if you sign a player from a previous year, that means you wifed somebody. That means you're not an active participant in cuffing season, unless you're playing categories with Evan's in-laws. Okay, because then you have to go to the secret words, and that's a different topic.
Yeah.
But let's go back to a good year, which was like 2010. And I remember, well, it doesn't matter. So how does cuffing season work with holiday family gatherings? I always picked Thanksgiving dinner. If I didn't go to Face's house, it was whoever's mom was the best cook. Now, leading up to Thanksgiving, I would have to get a plate from said moms. Moms love me. Okay. Humble brag.
Shocker.
So the mom who had the best plates, that's who you go to first. So you go to mom's house number one. Doesn't matter what their roster spot is. Mom's house number one, like at 4 o'clock, so you get the first fresh, sexiest plate. And then if you have to leave, you go in accordance. So you might end up at number 3's house for dessert because her mom makes the greatest cobbler on the planet Earth.
So it's like the college football playoff rankings.
A little bit.
Except you're the entire 12-person committee.
Oh man.
I mean, we can add people in because you could bring back the pies, you could bring back the food, you could have leftovers and let the homies eat and be like, who made this? And you tell them like, oh wow, yeah, her mom is actually a chef. So I had gone there to get my eat on, get my weight up, gains, and then you go from there. But usually, I mean, if I'm out at my dad's house, you kind of got to hit like 2 or 3 spots. But when I'm at Faze's house, I'm just trying to hit the couch. Maybe club bed for the VIP pillow service after all that food.
All right, so in order of culinary
expertise,
there you go. All right,
shout out to all the moms cooking on Thanksgiving and Christmas.
We do have a question in the Ask JP mailbox on Twitter. It's our good friend Lawrence LeBlanc at Frisco Smooth. What artist do you choose to endorse your campaign, JP?
Man, if I was running for political office, I thought about like an easy pick because it could be somebody living or deceased. And I was like, man, I would need Brother Malcolm in my corner. But then I just immediately stopped because 96% of America is stupid and ignorant. And everything that Brother Malcolm preaches them will go straight over their head. So I was like, I need somebody from popular pop culture. I need somebody who does music, who can reach the masses through the airways. And I was like, you know what? I would take Kendrick Lamar to endorse me, throw me in a track, drop a ton of bars that change the world. And if it wasn't Dot, I probably would try, I would have to go with either K-Dot or Tupac. Tupac would get the message out to everybody in the most straight way possible, as opposed to anybody else. I feel like some of the Kendrick bars would just fly over people's heads and they wouldn't get it because, again, America is a dumb country. But It would either be Tupac or Kendrick. What do you guys pick?
God, Kendrick's a good one. Yeah. I got it. I'll be your VP. How about that?
You can A plus
on the ticket.
A plus is actually part of the squad already, honorary, so he could fully be in the cabinet.
Thank you.
Oh man,
Probes?
I didn't think this was going to be posed to us, so I didn't really give this one much thought.
And by artists, we mean a musical, right? Or are we
Like
talking about anybody?
I can't pick Donatello.
I mean, if you wanted him to paint something for your campaign, sure.
No, he was talking about the Ninja Turtle.
Yeah,
Just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
The purple Ninja Turtle. I mean, he was a smart one.
yeah. Man. God, jeez, that's a tough one. You got to pick like what, Taylor Swift, because everybody loves her.
Oh, you would lose by a landslide.
That's fine. But at least you get the popular vote.
Remember, the voting age is 18.
So Bieber and Swift are out. They're out.
Hey,
Landslide loss.
I'm just saying, there's probably a ton of people over 18 that adore Taylor Swift. I have a few in my family.
I think for me, only
I wasn't prepared for that question.
Based on
so
winning
I didn't
it,
really,
either was
and
I,
I'm not
but-
the pop culture guy, so
But you could pick anybody to endorse you. It's just like, who would you pick to endorse you in a campaign?
based on this, let's assume it's for president.
Correct.
okay.
Which means
Oh,
you're
most
going to go.
definitely.
Well, I'm assuming it is. President, what artist would you choose? You have to go country music because if you want to win the South,
I
you do. I'd go
totally
like
flubbed that
I'd go
one.
like Garth Brooks or something
Over
like that.
Shania Twain?
Luke
Or
Bryan or
Shania's
something.
good too.
Reba?
Can I get two of them? Yeah, get both of them. You're done. You're all set.
But then what about the actual people who have a functioning brain? How would you get their vote?
Well, I got half the country right there in country music, so
All right. I mean, but you need...
I'm hoping that my superior wit and guile would.
And your hubris?
Yeah, right.
Because the electoral college would have to side with you as well.
That's true. That's true.
Let's just say I'm not running for office, so it
All right, so
doesn't really matter.
Kendrick Lamar, you heard it here. Get on the ticket. JP and Evan, 2020
Oh, let's do it. It would be
against you against Kanye.
JP and... against Yeezy.
Oh, we got easy.
Come on.
And this is the thing. He also has the backing of the Minions, all the Kardashian fans.
Oh, yeah.
That means he'd have James Harden's beard running with him. Oh, man.
Ain't got nothing on this beard.
That could really be something.
And you know James Harden can't be Secretary of Defense, so
He don't play
Man.
See, we love the Devils, but we also diss the Devils when they.
Hey, that's why he's a part of the squad.
Brought it home. All right. Well, first and foremost, we are all fans here in the bullpen. We already talked about the college this week, so let's quickly look at the NFL games. Let's start with the Niners at the Bears in the Windy City. Chicago 7-point favorites
Bears.
in this game. Evan, what do you think?
oh man, Bears are playing some good football as of late. You obviously beat the Packers on Thanksgiving, 1-3 of 4. They're 7-point favorites in this one. I'm gonna go Bears 24, Niners 14.
That's a good one. I'm going to give the Niners 3 field goals in this game. I'm going to go 31-9.
Phil Dawson going with the jersey number. I like it.
You don't love Blaine Gabbert?
Nope.
Anquan Bolden does.
Although they didn't. The defense looked a lot better against Arizona.
You know
so
what will happen in that game? Anquan Bolden will get 93 receiving yards.
93
Because
exactly.
that's what he's gotten the last 2 weeks exactly with
Yep.
Blaine Gabbert as quarterback.
They fearlessly forecasted that one as well. Do you miss Vernal Davis?
I honestly, I'm keeping one eye on the 49ers at this point. I'm kind of packed it in for the season.
That's impressive that he's actually keeping one
Selleck
eye.
was doing well, but now he's hurt, so
I like Vance McDonald, though.
we'll see. We'll see how he does. Seahawks Vikings, a potential wild card preview if the season started today. What do you think, bud?
Man.
Russ coming off a big birthday game might even broke the
know.
virginity pact.
The Seahawks are averaging like 36 points per game in their last 3. They're not going to get that because Vikings are playing at home, and they're playing really good defense. I mean, they shut down Julio last week. I'll say 23-20 Minnesota.
I like it. No reverse jinx this week.
No reverse jinx.
Monday Night Football, Cowboys Skins. Always a good one.
Yo, the
Skins 4-point favorites in this game.
Kyle Bum's not even ready. This might be the one time that I actually side with Kirkland Cousins because I feel like this game he should be able to ball out because this defense isn't great. The Matt Castle era is starting. He's not even able to get Des Bryant, who is one of the top 3 receivers in the league, the ball. I mean, we're winning this one by a landslide. and I hate Dallas. Like everything about them. I actually don't like the state of Texas. Period. If we want to get that out there, it's a terrible place. So
you heard it here.
Oh, easy. Down with Texas.
Tweet at him.
So we will never get the Dallas Tourism Board to be a sponsor.
We don't need it. There's nothing to see. Unless we're going to Houston to the Boom Boom Room, and then we'll have to talk. But everything else, no way.
Final score?
I'm going Redskins 37, Cowbums 17 on Monday night.
20-point win at home.
Wow.
Shout out to Kirkland Cousins. Deshaun will at least get 2 of those when he gets behind that defense. He's a Cowbum killer.
All right, we'll see what happens Monday night. Week 13 in the NFL. Championship week in college. Guys, anything else?
We're not going to talk about Warriors? Not going to do the when will they lose?
Dude, as we were taping, Steph Curry dropped 28 points in a
third quarter.
Specific.
So it's not going to be tonight.
No, it's not. Real quick.
Tuesday.
Will the Warriors lose?
At the Pacers.
Will the Warriors lose before our next podcast, which will be next week? Anybody think they'll lose?
Yeah.
Why
I'll go
Tuesday?
Tuesday at the Pacers. Pacers are hot right now.
Paul George got to go for 50.
They got to. I mean, they're an amazing squad. Unreal. They have to lose at some point, right?
I mean, they will, but it'll be a while.
Tuesday, the Pacers, definitely possible. Don't overlook Saturday in Toronto. Raptors played them close. There was a questionable call late.
Hotline bling?
At Oracle. Well, hotline bling.
but they'll actually lose to the Wizards because they have lost to the Wizards multiple times in the past.
When they
were
play?
the Bullets?
You don't remember last season? Should you scroll my Instagram and see that I was at the game when we were victorious? Because Dan remembers that.
Well, the one thing.
But did you win the championship?
Steph Curry was asked today in Charlotte. He was asked, "Will the Warriors lose before the Panthers?"
And he said,
Carolina Panthers, NFL team, and he's
from there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
He said, we won't lose. No, wait, the Warriors will lose before the Panthers, but not until February.
Yeah. He wants them both to be undefeated in February.
19-0 is what he's thinking, which...
Hey, man, Cam
ways to go.
That's
MVP
not
and
happening
Super
either.
Bowl champ. I'm cool with that.
You know what? If we could have picked athletes, I'd have picked both of those guys to endorse me for president. Steph and Cam.
Steph?
There you go.
That guy Cam would have dabbed all over.
I know. Imagine
all over
the
the Oval
victory
Office.
speech. You got Steph just hitting threes on one side, Cam dabbing and handing footballs to kids on the other. Ball game.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of The Bullpen. Don't forget, you can contact us at The Bullpen Pod on Twitter. You can email us at bullpenpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for checking us out once again, gentlemen. Have a good week.
Wizards.
Oh. Super.
What was that?
What happened?
Into the mic.
No.
Oh. Someone knocked something over.